Hi Mo.
Hello.
You just watched Diplo perform at Lowlands Festival. What was it like?
It was really cool. It was very like so and that was cool.
Yeah?
It was nice because we just chatted earlier and he was like, yeah, you should be careful. It's very heavy. You know, he knows that sometimes I'm like, you know, more into something that's a bit softer, but that's not true. I love what he does.
Do you keep in touch because you wrote several songs together? Do you keep in touch when you're on the
yeah,
on
but
the road?
we like since I started working with him in 2013, we have had like songs like back and forth. So it's always like kind of an ongoing like, oh, what about that and blah blah. And also of course now this summer with Lean On, of course there's been a lot of, you know, we've been playing together and stuff, and so it's back and forth. Yeah.
Will you be playing with him when he does his show here?
Ooh, you never know.
You
never know. You never
You never know. Okay, we'll see then. You released your first solo album last year.
Yeah. Yes.
There's
Yeah.
how do you look back on that album?
In a way, it's weird because it feels like I released my debut album just yesterday, but on the other hand, it feels like ages ago. So it's a really, actually, kind of a weird feeling. I mean, I'm so happy with my debut album, and I really thought that it represented me at that time, and I'm really proud of it. You know, but still, in a way, right now, I feel like it's been so long, and at the same time, I still can relate to it so much. You know, so yeah.
Okay, because there's one song on the album. It's called Pilgrim.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite one from the
Yeah,
album.
and you said about that song, go to somewhere private, listen to your own thoughts, and figure out what you want to be.
Yeah.
Have you achieved that already? Have you figured out what you want to be and what you want to do?
No. I think all your life you'll think you want something and then you get it and you'll be happy maybe, but then the human mind will always look for trouble and always look for struggle and always look for new goals to achieve. So, and always also be, you think at some point you'll be like, oh yeah, I know myself, but then something happens and things change, you know. So, no, I think I'll be searching all my life. Not that I'm not happy, I'm very happy and so grateful for all the things that have happened recently, but life is supposed to be, a journey where you learn and you struggle and you get wiser.
What did you learn from your solo album? What did you learn in hindsight? You wrote it, you released it, you toured it.
I think creatively, I learned that it's very important that you not try to make something that you think people will like. When you're being creative and you do your thing, it's very important that you do exactly the things that you feel is right. Like just really do that instead of, because always it's like, oh yeah, but we need a hit, or oh I need to please this kind of, these kind of people, or this kind of like, I think as soon as you do that and you like stop being personal and like in your stuff, that's when it's not good, I think. And I think with my first album, I thought I was being just my taste, how I like what I wanted to do. Yeah.
And when you write with other people, is it the same process for you? Do you also try to be personal? Is it a different level?
When I what? Sorry.
When you write with other people, like for example Diplo.
Yeah.
Or other.
No, yeah, but that's the thing is, okay, with Diplo, like for instance, often I get a beat and then I start doing some things and then blah blah, and we hook up in a studio and we already have the draft and we work on it and we split, and like it's very like, a very kind of modern way of work, I guess, where you send a lot of files, because actually I prefer being on my own when I record and when I write and when I do everything regarding music, actually, because I get a bit, when I get into studio with someone, especially if it's someone I don't know, it always takes a while socially to open up and be personal, because as I said, it's so important that you're being personal and want to express the feelings that you have when you do music. So that's why I like the solitude. And that's why I love also sometimes working with Diplo, because he's all over the place, and like, so you can just send back and forth music and do your own thing. I can sit alone for 12 hours and do my thing and send it back to him, so yeah. But I like being in studio with people too. It's just a different thing.
How did you start working with him?
With Diplo?
Yeah, because 2 years ago already?
Yeah, 2013. It was because I was interviewed for a DIY magazine and they asked me about my dream collaboration, and to that question I answered Major Lazer, because at that time, I mean, I guess it was almost a year since Get Free, but that song was still one of my favorites, and it still is. So I was just like, oh, that could be so cool to work with them. And then someone on Twitter tweeted Diplo and saying like, oh, please work with Mo, you know. And then he wrote back that we love her. And then me and my manager, we were just like, oh, we have to get in contact with him at some point. And then that happened, and we hooked up for a session in Amsterdam, actually. That was actually where I met him first time, yeah.
And where in Amsterdam?
Me and my producer Ronnie from the first album and my manager were staying there in an Airbnb house. Yeah. And so Wes and Chris came by and we had a session. We had some gear and we just, yeah.
The Lean On, it's I checked it today, I think it's in almost 10 or 20 countries. It has charted #1.
Yeah, that's so nice.
How important was it? Was it important for you to have such a huge hit? Or?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you have no idea. Like it's like it's such a. I mean, but most of all, I'm so happy that it was that song, because I feel, because it's, you know, the whole process making it, like, and again working with Diplo and his team, like it's been such a free and open creative process. You know, it wasn't like, as I said, like going into a studio with strangers and being like, now we make a hit, and if we, you know, don't have a hit, then it's bullshit. You know, it was just like, you know, I got a beat like long time ago, started working on it, sent it back forth, met up in a studio, and like, you know, like just, and I really love the song, and I love the lyrics, I love everything about it, because I feel so connected to it, because I was, you know, from my share, I was really being personal, and like, and so I'm just so happy.
What triggered you to write this lyric then? What
happened? Yeah, I was. When I got the beat, I was on tour somewhere in Europe, and we had played a concert, and I was at the hotel, and I was sitting, and I remember I was feeling, because we had toured quite a lot actually, and I was feeling a little bit lonely, and then I had this beat, and back then it was like a reggae beat-ish, like, and I remember just being like, you know, that blow a kiss, fire a gun, like we all need someone to lean on, like, you know, like, because I was thinking like, oh, I'm out here like being so important, you know, like in a way, like that's how everybody think, you know, but I'm not feeling important, I'm just doing what I love, you know, and I mean, if it makes sense, but like you're out there trying to be something, and even though, I mean, the only thing I needed was a shoulder to lie on, if you know what I mean, and that was like that whole thing, like blow a kiss, fire a gun, like no matter if you're you know, loving, or if you're a killer, or whatever the fuck you are, like we all need someone to lean on. That's just in our blood and our nature, that we need someone, and that was how I felt, you know, like, you know.
And when you sent it over, what did he say about the lyrics?
I don't think he commented on the lyric right there. I think it was just like, oh, this is cool, let's work on this, yeah, you know.
There are many covers of this song. Is there one that you maybe like most? Or?
To be totally honest, I haven't really checked it that much out, because I'm not that much on the internet. I mean, of course on social medias and stuff, but I'm not like checking out stuff like that.
Could be. What is the best thing that happened with this song being such a huge hit? What?
I think, seriously, I mean, I know I yap a lot about this, but I really think the thing for me that makes me so happy is, again, that I didn't feel like there was any pressure on that song. I didn't feel like we were like, it is constructed to be a big hit, you know, like it was not like, oh, we have to follow this form to have this big fucking hit, you know. It was just, I mean, I felt like we all just did our thing, and what we thought was cool and nice, and what we thought we connected with musically, and it became a hit. And, you know, that's a big thing for me to know that, because sometimes people in the industry or whatever can be like, oh, you know, to make a hit you gotta do like blah blah blah, and it's like, no, I mean, this is a proof that if you're just being open and honest and follow your creativity wherever it takes you, you can actually make something that will go wide, even though without compromising with what you feel is great.
What did other people say? Is there one maybe a child or maybe a parent or someone who came up to the show and said something about your music or this song that really inspired you?
With Lean On? No.
Yeah, Lean On or maybe other songs?
Like in general, if people come and...
personal story that people share with you that you say, well, that's really important for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, when fans come up to me or write me on socials and say like that my music helped them through a hard time or something like that, I get so touched. Because I mean, I you know, in my life, if I've been sad or something, I remember the feeling of, through music, if you listen to something, you would feel connected and you would feel not alone. Again, you would feel like a connection, even though it's a stranger and you never, like, it's a star or whatever, but like hearing those words, being like, okay, you know, I'm not alone with this feeling. Making music is about communicating. It's all about feeling understood, all about feeling not alone in this big, cold world, you know.
Do you feel alone often, or?
No, actually don't. But when I do, I hate it, you know. I mean, but it inspires me. I mean, you know, being on the road and sometimes everything is like I miss. I mean, for instance, I think a lot about when I was a child and like feeling, you know, safe and protected in a way. That's something, I don't know, for some reason now when I'm like always out there being like, you know, I miss that feeling of just falling asleep while listening to my parents sitting in the living room watching a TV show and like my brother playing computer next door, you know, like just having that like safe.
That's good. Last question. Are you working now on a new album, on a new solo album?
Yeah, I am. But you know, I'm in the process of making that. Yes.
And next year, on the year after, have you any?
I mean, I would always say as soon as possible, but you never know. Music can take. You can make a great album in 2 weeks, but it could also take 10 years. Okay. So you never know.
And you will be playing with Major Lazer this Lowlands.
What?
You will be playing with Major Lazer this Lowlands.
Ooh, you never know. You can never tell.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.